Were you, or were you not, on a gay cruise?
No, you're 120% dick pic.
Everybody that age, they're sperminator.
Yeah.
We don't care about anything else. We're a walking hard on looking for a hole.
That's. I have to say you're right on that one. Oh, my God.
A stiff breeze comes through the room and you return the favor.
Got her in. Oh. Somewhere on the outside of this building, there is a hole where squirrels come in.
Better than a hole where dicks come in.
Yeah, better than that.
Going down the stairs to wash the laundry. What the hell? Shh. Pizza. Stop it now. I order you to stop. I'm still touching myself.
Yeah!
All young bitches want to do is pop pills, smoke weed, get drunk, lay around, suck dick, eat hot Cheetos, charge they phone, get a sew and weave, twerk, be bisexual, eat McDonald's, wash they pussy in the sink, lie, take selfies, and talk shit through Wi-Fi because they phone never on.
I think washing they pussy in the sink is my favorite part. The Vietnamese trade in dongs. Figuratively and literally, I'm sure.
Oh, my God, that's hilarious.
I did decide to look it up. 500,000 dongs is a good night for Pop's ex.
Like most women, he's an emotional thinker.
Good God.
I mean, that's part of the problem we're having now in our society is we have a bunch of emotional thinkers that want the world to, to fall in line with their emotions. That's not... look, reality doesn't give a shit about emotions.
It's my lived truth. Fuck your lived truth.
No, it's not. It's your perspective.
Kiss my ass.
Literally like, hey, Sergeant Pop, you got to turn your bear suit. I'm like, over my dead body. No. Just give me a statement of charges. Yeah. You're never getting this back. Yeah. You can suck it.
I'm going to wear this with my Russian coat.
you will bury me in this. Hey! Why you gotta fucking be like that, man?
Because I'm an asshole, and I learned from the best. I'm sitting across from him, and I'm pointing at you with all four fingers.
All right, first of all, the Russian jacket is World War II surplus.
I'll send you a picture of it, Sarge.
Yeah, okay.
I got you standing wearing it with holding two giant buckets like you just collected all the chum from behind the dump dumpster at the bar, and you're going to go home and make ice cream out of it.
What's up, savages? Terrence Pop here with another episode that actually is live from the lair. Now I'm going to go through a little story with you guys. It kind of applies to what's going on here in the Western world. So if you have a jar and you fill it up with a bunch of black ants and red ants and then brown ants, they don't really do anything until you shake the jar, and it turns into absolute pandemonium and mayhem. All right, similar thing has been happening across all of Europe and the United States with the mass immigration baloney bullshit that's going on. We've had huge amounts of migrants travel all the way through Europe, all the way up into Ireland, which last time I checked was a goddamn island, just like England is. In fact, there are stories out there. If you go to England, the main city in the UK, it's not English anymore. It's something else.
That'd be London.
Yes, that'd be London. And let's be honest here. We've watched riots and craziness take place in France, a little bit in Spain. Now it's starting in Germany. It's kicking off in Ireland. The UK is threatening to basically go after anyone on the planet who talks against some of their crazy-ass socialist policies. And it's starting to actually come here to America, which usually that stuff is catchy. And I don't really see a peaceful resolution to this, even above and beyond a two-way rifle range situation. And you can see it in the crime stats. A lot of the Nordic nations, which prior to 2005 were extremely safe places. And I believe Sweden became the apparay capital of the world. So there's a lot of forced frosting going on there. A lot of hole punching, stuff like that. Can't really go into the words here because YouTube and the algorithm will demote me or strike the channel or demonetize me, which they already have done. And speaking of which, please donate and keep this show going. We've been demonetized beyond all rhyme and reason. I just had to throw that out there. All right, so I got Battle Dwarf in the house, and I got the evil button-pushing monkey Jimmy Bones.
What's happening, everybody?
Waiting for Pop to take a sip of his tea.
Mm-hmm.
You good there?
Yeah.
Good there. Is that nice tea?
Why are you picking on me?
What's that?
You're picking on me.
Why?
Yeah.
What? when have we ever needed a reason for that?
You're correct. You're correct.
My wife says it all the time. You're picking on me. It's because I love you. You'll be fine.
I gotcha.
No homo. Anyway, so yeah, things have gotten spicier and spicier in Europe over the last couple of months. Sweden, which was once known for beautiful blondes and nice chocolate, is now the rapé capital of Europe. And nobody could figure out what happened. When this started happening back in 2010, I think it was living at your house. I saw all this coming across Europe, and I said, it's going to come here. People said, there's no way that it could come here. There's no way that it could come here. Guess what? It's here.
Well, didn't we have a situation in Colorado?
And Chicago.
Well, Chicago isn't hitting the news yet. I just saw it on Tim Pool earlier.
There's a bunch of these situations going on, but let's stick to Europe for the moment because we know that the invasions are happening here. What's happening in Europe is what comes next for us. I wouldn't be surprised if the rapes are already happening and not being reported. That wouldn't shock me at all. We
got to use the word apparay or
I know.
Something else.
Oh, they get upset about that. I forget. They get bent out of shape about the truth being told.
It's the other hard R word.
I forget that. Yeah, I got sent to Twitter jail today for telling the truth. They didn't like that either.
Yeah, I got my pee-pee spanked on Facebook for spamming.
Yeah, but you were spamming.
It's all right.
All I do was tell the truth. So in Sweden, which is now the rapé capital of the world, freedom of speech is about to become a relic of history in Sweden, and that should worry everyone in the rest of Europe and the United States as well, for we are not all that far behind. 2 men are about to go on trial for the crime of burning the Quran. Turns out it was 2 Arab guys who did the burning, but they're calling it white supremacy anyway. Why? Because everything is white supremacy today. What are you going to do? Why are we tolerating this insanity? Making Sweden's surrender all the more piquant, which is the nice word for spicy, is the fact that the 2 men who are about to be tried are named Salwan Momika and Salwan Najem. Neither is, in other words, a white supremacist whose distaste for the book that the Muslims hold sacred stems from racism or bigotry. Both are men who dislike the Quran whose dislike for the Quran stems from a great deal of unpleasant first-hand interaction with those who believe that this is the perfect world of Allah. That fact, however, is routinely ignored by Western establishment media, which, when it deigns to notice the existence of Mamika and Najem at all, dismisses them as right-wing extremists in the face of all of the evidence to the contrary.
All right,
this is how bizarre it's gotten.
Yeah, let's just talk about the whole Quran thing, okay? All right. The Bible has got some crazy shit in it, okay? I'm just going to be honest.
Any religious book does.
Especially the Old Testament.
Point blank. Any religious book does. But yes, point conceded.
We don't have a bunch of people today living exactly how it said in the Old Testament and part of the New Testament. And when those Christian organizations do pop up and they're that extreme, we wipe them the fuck out. Because extremism is the same thing no matter what label you put underneath it. Christian extremism, Jewish extremism, Islam, Buddha, you go down the line. It's all extremism. All right. Now, what we have going on here is we have the mainstream media, the 30-pound brains, the WEF, the global order, trying to force this down our throats and punishing us when we say, wait a minute, this is a bad thing. We need to have more people saying this is a bad thing and not being silent about it, because this is coming for us here in America. All right? It's already popping off in a couple of states. You just wait. In fact, the Battle Dwarf and I talked about this extensively while we were getting food.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's ugly, and it is definitely headed this way. I happen to know that in some of the Norse countries, Sweden, Norway, Denmark, the museums are now staffed by these individuals of the desert persuasion.
The religion of peace?
Those ones there, who are now destroying Nordic artifacts because they have too many of them. There's a Somali in charge of one of the museums in Denmark, I think it is.
That's a good idea.
Yeah, with too many artifacts from that period, so we're just going to destroy them because there's too many of them. This is wholesale invasion of our countries that's going on right now. And it's especially noticeable in Europe, where you've actually got populations where Denmark is full of Danes, Norway is full of Norwegians, Sweden is full of Swedes, and so on and so forth. Okay, Ireland, Irish people, England, English people or British people or whatever they want to call themselves with their bad teeth and bland food.
That's totally
And I'm sorry, that was a cheap swipe, but I had to take it.
No, it's totally accurate, though.
But I like the food, though. It's bland, but it's pretty good. Anyway, and then today on Twitter, right before I got thrown in Twitter gulag, I saw an Israeli individual tell a Welshman that Israel is a real country and Wales isn't even a country, to which that Israeli person got dogpiled on. And it turns out that the people in Wales have been living there for 9,000 years, and their country has been a country for 1,000 years, whereas Israel was a small kingdom in the Levant that lasted from 910 BC, which means before Christ, by the way, to 740 BC, which means it lasted about 150 years, this little kingdom of Israel, and then it's gone.
What happened to them?
They were wiped out when they pissed off the Persian Empire. They were completely, I can't pronounce the name right now, the Akkadian Empire, or one of those. It was one of the early empires that showed up right after classical Egypt fell. Now, classical Egypt was 3,000 years ago. Here I go down the rabbit hole. I'm not going to do that to you right now. Anyway, Egypt was never a country. It was a kingdom 2,740 years ago. And they're jumping on the Welsh people who have been there for 9,000 years.
Mm-hmm.
saying you're not a country and you deserve to be colonized. Well, guess what happens when you start telling people like the Welsh and the Scots and the Irish that they deserve to be colonized and they should all be killed?
You're going to get what you always get throughout history.
They get angry.
You are going to get a bunch of angry people.
Yeah.
And then they're going to revolt.
Yes.
And then you're going to wind up with open war. And then that's a whole lot of bloodshed.
This is the peoples, the Scots, the Welsh, and the Irish, and the English, for the most part, in the north, not so much the south, probably because they were poisoned with frogs from France. During the time of Julius Caesar, 50 BC.
Okay.
Julius Caesar was in the Gallic Wars there. He attempted to invade Ireland, Wales, and Scotland and failed because those people would just beat the crap out of him. So that's the same people that are being pushed around right now.
Well, we'll see what happens.
My money is on it not ending well.
Well, I mean, we talked about this probably 5 or 6 months ago on how you get Adolf.
Yes, this is how you get Adolf.
This is how you get Adolf.
Yeah.
Because it's going to get to the point where you're going to need to have an extreme weight on the other end of the scales to balance it back out.
Yes.
Because let's face it, these individuals coming from the Middle East and Northern Africa, it's a whole different culture. They are not going to blend in. They are not going to assimilate. They're going to try to make you assimilate to them.
Yes, they're invaders.
That is what an invasion is.
Yep.
Just so we got it straight here.
Yeah. None of this is immigration. Anybody who says immigration or migrants is blatantly lying to you, gaslit themselves, attempting to gaslight you, or just idiots. Okay, point blank. This is an invasion. These are not migrants. These are not immigrants. That's not what's going on here. And you can tell because none of them are trying to assimilate, and there's millions of them at this point.
Yes.
In our case, like 34 million of them. And in Europe and the UK and stuff, I think it's like hundreds of thousands.
I have no idea. All I know
That's an invasion.
Is in the past 4 years, we've had somewhere between 20 and 40 million individuals come across our open borders.
Yes.
All right. So let's just do the math. That is 12 to 15% of the gross population of this country.
Yes. In the space of 10 years.
Yeah, that is going to be very hard to turn back. Once I don't even think it's possible now, unless you really want to crack the whip and get super draconian.
It would take a tremendous amount of freedom seeds being released into the wild.
Correct.
And there wouldn't be any other real way to do it. And it would require the people in the various states and counties to organize.
Yes.
And follow through. So Swedish voters boost anti-immigration party amid high crime. This is Sweden starting to push back. A populist anti-immigration party has surged to become Sweden's second largest political force after a national election dominated by fears of gang violence, and rapé, which has given the once safe Scandinavian country one of Europe's highest levels of gun violence.
All right, hang on.
There are gangs in Malmo, which is in Sweden, using grenades in the street.
Aren't firearms banned in that country?
I don't know officially. I do not know officially.
All right, so even if they are, it's not working.
Jimmy, weapons check on aisle Sweden. Weapons check on aisle Sweden.
Checking.
That was good.
Thanks.
That was good.
At any rate, yeah, but grenades in the street.
Yeah,
these Islamist gangs I've seen multiple reports, and the police won't go anywhere near these neighborhoods either.
See, that's a big mistake.
It gets better.
Okay.
The Postal Service won't deliver either. But wait, if you order now, you also get no medical service in those areas.
There are no-go zones.
They are no-go zones.
All right, now let's be honest. All right. If you are a competent government and you wish to maintain order in your country, the minute you start getting calls from, don't go there, that's a no-go zone, you send the military in there and crush them.
Yes. Or forcibly remove them.
Or both.
Or both. I'm good with both.
Either one works.
You can't have that. It's like there's a couple of, or in France, there's like whole mega structure, like housing units, like they used to have here in America.
Yes.
That are no-go zones. Right. Now, if I was running the show, 10,000-pound bomb, the whole thing comes down. Problem solved.
I want to not subject the local population to a concussion like that.
I'm just saying, but this is what's happening, is if it's not stopped, it is going to only get worse.
We're already to the it has gotten worse point.
Yeah.
But just now, Sweden is starting to push back. And also in Germany, Germany's AFD, which is their right-wing party, which is to the left of our Republicans today here in the United States, is winning elections. And it's driving the Bolsheviks. They're absolutely crazy. They just won a whole bunch of elections. In one city, I want to say it was Frankfurt, but I could be wrong. The AFD won all the seats, right? And like an hour later, the news comes out and goes, oh, the computer miscounted. It's actually the socialists who won. Sorry about that.
Yeah, that's
By
that
like
sounds familiar.
yeah.
that sounds familiar.
And everyone out there who plays the Bolshevik drinking game, drink twice now.
Sorry about that, guys. I'm not really sorry about that.
But I do have the firearm regulations in Sweden pulled up. Let's see, they have nine things here. Permit system: to own a gun in Sweden, you need a permit or license from the Swedish police authority. Permit is granted for specific type of gun and purpose, i.e., hunting, target shooting, or collecting. They have background checks. Reasonable cause. Permit is granted only if there is a reasonable cause for the individual to own a gun, such as membership in a shooting club or hunting organization. Single gun ownership. Initially, permits are issued for a single gun. If you want to acquire additional guns, you must apply for separate permits. Guns must be stored securely in an approved firearm safe at home and disabled when transporting.
Mm.
Okay.
Civilians are not allowed to carry firearms concealed in public.
Okay.
Limited gun types. Certain types of firearms, such as fully automatic weapons and certain semi-automatic rifles, are heavily restricted or prohibited.
Okay.
Hunting and sport shooting. Guns are used for hunting and sport shooting must be registered and meet specific safety standards. And importing firearms into Sweden for private use requires a permit and compliance with Swedish regulations.
So what I'm hearing is rich people are allowed to have guns and the average citizen is not allowed to defend themselves with a gun if they do have it.
Yeah. So basically, their gun laws are fuck all.
Pretty much. They have some notable causes and statistics here to continue. Sweden has a relatively low gun ownership compared to other European countries. According to the Swedish National Council for Crime Prevention, the majority of gun-related crimes in Sweden involve illegal firearms.
And illegal invaders.
Yes. In 2020, there were 14 gun-related homicides in Sweden compared to 39 in 2015.
Wow.
Oh, wow. Only 14?
Yep.
Rookie numbers.
And some rookie numbers, baby.
Country has a strong focus on addressing gang violence and weapon smuggling, particularly from neighboring countries.
All right. So
Neighboring countries like Iraq and Syria.
are you familiar with what's taking place down in South America with that? Was it that one country that's dealing with that gang crisis?
Which one? Are you speaking specifically of Salvador or Brazil?
Salvador.
Or Bolivia? Salvador?
They literally just said, we've had enough. They rounded up like 70,000 of these gang members
That's Salvador.
and threw them in this huge prison complex.
Yes.
Yep.
And
Where they wear nothing but boxer shorts and flip-flops.
yes. And the crime went to way low.
Yeah.
So we're going to, I hate to say this, but it's probably going to get to the point where you're going to have to do something like that as option one, or let option two play out, which is the citizens of said country get to the point where, like, I've had enough.
Yeah.
And that's called mob justice. I don't want to see that. It's always brutal.
Yes.
It's effective,
Yes.
but it's brutal, and a lot of innocent people get ground up in the gears when that goes off.
It's true. And now, in a perfect fantasy world of year-round deer hunting and public beer fountains, I would like to see a prison in either Maryland or Virginia where our current administration, and I mean elected or bureaucrat or otherwise, is placed into one of these facilities for a period of time to think about their misdeeds and behavior.
after a rightful conviction.
Well, that's why it's a
Yes.
prison established
Yeah.
in one of the states.
Got it.
Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah, that goes without saying. I wouldn't just grab them and throw them in there. That wouldn't be like me at all.
Yeah. No, it's not like our alphabet agencies aren't doing that to us
Already
already.
to citizens everywhere that have been held for 3 or 4 years without trial in many cases.
Well, we just had that guy on the show, and
Yeah.
I think he's out of jail now, but he did almost 4 years before he even had a trial.
Yeah.
In Wayne County. There you go.
Wow.
Yep.
That's just some yeah. So on unheard.com here, which apparently is another news variant out of Europe, Sweden's migrant rape crisis. European liberals never ask uncomfortable questions about immigration. Was the 2015 European migration crisis? It was 2012 to 2015. I remember watching the columns of invaders, literally huge columns.
Now, let's be honest.
Like whole divisions.
Hang on.
Yeah.
People just don't line up like that unless they're organized by somebody.
Okay, we've discussed this before, but I'm going to go over it again for our gentle listeners on this one. In most cases, in most of the third world countries, Pop and I have both been in our share of them.
Oh, yes.
You are considered a well-traveled individual if you go more than 20 miles from your hometown more than once in your lifetime. You've done some traveling. The average person in these third world countries won't go more than 4 or 5 miles, and that's usually to get stuff that they need back home.
Correct.
And
when you drop out of the vagina, that's the bullseye where you're probably going to die.
And just to point out the obvious, I know of no footpath from sub-Saharan Africa to the United States, North America, South America. The last time I checked, the last time they brought a black population from sub-Saharan Africa from Africa to the Americas was in tightly packed slave ships, mostly owned by the Spaniards, Dutch, and Portuguese.
But you aren't familiar with the Bimini Road that goes all the way across to South America? I'm just fucking with you.
Stop it. Knock that shit off.
All right.
Anyway, point being, these people don't just do this, okay? They're being brought over to our countries, and what's happening, I did a little bit of research on this. Actually, there's a group of us that did a bunch of research on this. The NGOs, what they'll do is play the shell game. The NGOs that are moving all of the Africans and Syrians and what have yous into Europe, they're basing themselves in America. And the NGOs that are moving all of the immigrants into the invaders into the United States, North America, Canada, are based in Europe.
Mm-hmm.
So that you can't get at them.
For now.
Or at least that's their illusion that they've established.
Well, I mean,
that you can't get at them.
We have some American NGOs that are actually, working the gap.
Oh no! Once they get here, once they get their immigrants here, one of them is called HIAS, which is the Hebrew International Aid Society. Interestingly, and there's a bunch of other ones. Unfortunately, a lot of church groups are heavily involved in this stuff, which I don't understand. I'm sure they're taking shekels from somebody.
No, hang on. What we're seeing is they're taking advantage of people's mercy, kindness, and using it as a weapon against us, the population.
These are traits of Western nations. You and I have both been to enough other countries to know that these are traits of Western nations.
Correct. And let's just be honest. I like to help people. I mean, I do it on the show all the time, trying to keep the gun out of people's mouths.
Yeah, absolutely.
But at some point, you have to realize, am I being taken advantage of?
Yep.
And we don't have a lot of people asking those questions, especially when they're getting all kinds of tax dollars from our own government to operate.
which, by the way, is RICO and fraud and criminal
Yes.
trafficking and international conspiracy. Just putting that out there, because I know of no law that allows anybody in any government in the United States to spend money in that manner. Back to Europe, meanwhile, was the 2015 immigration migrant crisis followed by a surge in sex crime and sexual harassment? It's a delicate question. No, it's not. That's what happened. One that many people prefer not to be asked, much less answered. They want it out of the news. They don't want you talking about it. They don't want you to see it. They just want your daughter and your sister and your niece and your cousin to be raped. But as a result,
Apparade.
Yeah. Apparade. My bad. I'm mad.
I understand.
Really spun up. There are a handful of criminal acts where that are the reason that I could never be a police officer.
I get it.
If I came across a rapacing or a child badly abused in some way, or an elder, or God forbid a dog, if I came across that and the suspect was still there and standing there with the implement of crime in their hand, I would probably shoot them.
Yeah, I get it.
I have that switch.
Yeah, I get it. That job's not for everyone.
No,
I couldn't do it myself.
I couldn't do it.
And I'm going to be honest. I mean, I wanted to be a cop for quite a few years, and I'm glad the universe is like, you do something else.
Yeah, that's same with me. I had a bunch of friends who were like, you should come be a cop. It'd be great. I'm hearing the stories from them. They see these horrors every day. I'm like,
no,
I can't do that, man.
I can't.
Oh, you'll be fine. You get over it. I'm like, if you're getting over something like that, there's something broken in your thinking, mate. Okay.
But here's the thing: is the Western soft population is going to see that kind of shit shortly, because it's coming. I'm just wondering how it's going to.
Betting it's already here and we haven't seen it.
No, I'm just wondering how it's going to play out here in this country.
We'll see.
Because
we'll see. It very much depends on where.
Yeah.
Very much depends on where. There are portions of the United States that are still under redneck authority.
Listen, I've had some dreams about genocide taking place here in this country.
Yeah. One of the things I have noticed is, and I could be wrong, but I have not seen any of the invaders find their way to places like upcountry in the state of Louisiana, because I'm pretty sure they'd be gator food in a very short period of time.
Especially in red trash land in upper New York State.
Those are some bad dudes. Pop and I both served with a couple of those guys.
Yeah.
The upstate Louisiana boys don't play.
No, that's not going to go over.
Yeah.
And even the UP here in Michigan.
Sure. Same thing. That's the same creature, but with flannels and snowmobiles.
Yep.
Same kind of people. Why should this debate be restricted to these two extremes of either see no evil, hear no evil, or talk about the whole thing? Surely good social science requires that rigorous empirical research be carried on such a complex phenomena, particularly when it is controversial and politically sensitive. After all, only then can it be better understood and public policy measures be appropriately formulated and targeted. This is the talk of Bolsheviks gaslighting.
This is word salad.
Yes.
For it's happening and there's nothing you can do to stop it.
That's correct.
All right. This, again, we have to drink because he said Bolshevik.
You don't have to call it out every time. Let them catch it. I would say.
I'm just saying.
That's fine. So, meanwhile, in France, which has seen huge riots, and Paris is basically a third world country now.
Yes.
It is.
Now,
Paris is.
Did you see that video
What?
that happened in England? That dude had his child with him in a stroller, and he was stabbed in the neck.
Yes.
And killed.
Yes.
Yep.
Street by some, I think it was
Somalis.
a sand-oriented individual.
Listen, they're very, very stabby over there in the UK.
Life is cheap to them. Life doesn't mean anything to these people. I keep saying this over and over again. They're basically feral. They don't have any concept of society or culture the way that we have a concept of it. Life doesn't mean anything to them except for their own. And even then, they'll do reckless, stupid things and get themselves killed left, right, and center. That's something you're very familiar with.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't see much of that because mostly my time was spent hunkered down in dark places with antennas.
No, I sent.
You got them over there.
I sent a couple companies of dudes to Northern Africa,
Yeah.
And we got them ready for the skinnies, was
Right.
what they call them.
Yeah.
And I mean, there's all kind. I trained guys for having to deal with the motorcycle shooting. There's a guy in the passenger, and they roll up and they shoot in.
Yeah, that's common.
It's very common all over.
Very common.
All over the place. I had to deal with that.
Yeah.
I sent my teams forward with grizzly bear spray.
Yeah.
Because it's fucking effective.
They don't know what that is over there either. So
no, they think you're spraying battery acid on them, but they're totally fine. Mm-hmm. But the bear spray, you can cover a whole crowd and get out of the area. I mean, we sent them with CS gas grenades, the whole deal, which I'm going to be honest, the military gets kind of crazy about using CS on civilians, but
it's not CS, it's bear spray.
Yeah, bear spray. I'm talking about actual CS, which was I had to Green Beret Express that shit. Listen, I'm not sending people into a situation where they could fucking die unprepared. I'm just not doing it.
Did you send silly string too?
I did not. That would have been great.
Yeah. Tripwires. You take a can of silly string with you, and if you have to go anywhere near a building, you go. And if there's any wires or tripwires or anything like that, the silly string gets on those.
Or shaving cream.
Yeah. The guys that from my MOS that were going over, they were coming back. Can you send us like a case of silly string? And that's where I learned that from. I didn't actually get to do that bit myself. I'm not sad that I didn't, but
no, we used shaving cream.
Anyway, these people they're feral. They don't care about life. It just is what it is, and there's a lot of that going on in France right now.
And listen, we're going to bring up the stories with the stats. This is not us just being, oh, we hate these people. We don't hate anyone.
I don't hate them at all.
We're just telling you the truth.
I don't want to get stabbed.
The truth on the ground. This is what it is over in Europe, and that is coming here.
Yes. Yeah. There was. Let's see here. France's far right changed the debate on immigration. For the first time since its founding, France's anti-immigration and National Rally Party has clawed its way within arm's reach of governing. The far right party's rise has fundamentally changed France's immigration debate, dragging besieged President Macron's once liberal coalition far to the right, while bringing together a bloc of left-wing parties united by the desire to give undocumented immigrants a legal pathway to what on earth is prompting? I want to know where the pathology is here. That it's okay to let hundreds of thousands of invaders into your country.
Yeah.
How do you create a pathology like that?
Well, number one, they use the word far right. So that's guilt and shame language to get people to be silent and I'm not that.
Yeah.
That's one way.
I am now because of them specifically.
Yeah. But I mean, that's exactly what they're doing. I mean, a lot of the shit we have going on is because they use buzzwords to silence people.
Yes, that is their favorite thing in the world to do, is to silence people.
Yeah, and this is what's really taking place. Is the buzzwords to silence people are starting to lose effect.
Yes.
And now we're seeing them trying to ban freedom of speech. So you can't talk about it.
We're gonna get to that specifically, and I'm worried that it's going to start showing up in America. And I hope we have enough sense to do what Solzhenitsyn recommended, where when they show up at the door, we're waiting for them on the other side of the door.
I got you. It's not going to detail.
It's writing by a guy who wrote this like 100 years ago.
I got you. But still,
I'm quoting a writing from 100 years ago.
All right,
that guy's dead.
I understand. But it is what it is.
So the French are finally getting fed up with all of this too, is the long and short of this. Speaking on the island of Seine off Brittany's coast, for those of you who don't know, England, yeah, that portion of France that's like right below England across the channel there, that's Brittany.
Because it used to be part of England back
That's
in the day.
Precisely correct. And that's where all the stories of King Arthur and all of that come from. They rode through Brittany, and that was their territory. And William the Conqueror, 1066, down the rabbit hole we go.
Argincourt, baby.
Agincourt.
Okay.
Agincourt.
All right. We're not going into history lesson, but
the breach, dear friends.
I love that.
We few, we happy few, we band of brothers.
Yeah. All right.
Whose men famously took their boats to join the ragtag Free French forces in neighboring Britain following General Charles de Gaulle's call to resist the Nazi occupation. French President Macron on Tuesday made his own appeal to the French people. Amid his usual calls to the public to reject extremes of the far-right national rally and the left-wing New Popular Front, the pro-business president let slip a word he'd never said before, at least in public. The New Popular Front program, he stressed, was totally immigrationist. We have a new ist.
A new ist.
You're an immigrationist.
I'm an istophobe igot. I cover everything.
That's fine.
There are no more fucks, shits, or dams to give.
I have an entire bucket of offs for you to fuck.
Thank you. I'd rather not, but I understand.
They're proposing to abolish the laws that allow us to control immigration, which means just have the border completely open.
Mm-hmm.
Macron is no stranger to the word immigrationist. It's been spat at him and other liberal or left-wing politicians many times over the years by figures from France's far-right nativist movements. The word itself implies conspiracy, a supposed political plot to open France's borders to an invasion of immigrants bent on outbreeding France's white Gallic majority. That's exactly what's happening. It's literally what's happening. Why? That's exactly what's happening. Why do these people... How do you turn on your own people like this?
Because
I don't get it.
we have the globalists think we have too many people on the planet.
I agree with them, but not in the way they think that I do.
They're pumping these people into these countries because they're planning on shaking the jar.
They're planning it. They're going to shake the jar.
Because guess what? They're going to pump these people into the country, even this country.
Yes.
Then they're going to destroy the monetary system.
That's already done in our case.
Not yet. It could get way worse. They destroy the monetary system, and then you have everyone fighting for resources, thus shaking the jar. And then we have, 15% of the population is feral from somewhere else.
Yeah.
It's gonna be bad.
Yeah.
It's gonna be bad.
It's going to be bad. Next thing you know, you're going to be paying 500,000 dongs for a loaf of bread.
I'd rather not.
The RN's unprecedented success in this month's European elections, which pushed Macron to call snap legislative elections at home, has been a stark reminder of how central immigration has become Europe's political debate since the 2015 refugee crisis. There was never a refugee crisis. That's when the NGOs started funneling all of the invaders into European countries. And now they're doing it to us at the border of Mexico. Have you ever been to the border of Mexico? Not
Yes.
you personally.
Okay.
Our gentle viewers out there.
Yeah.
It's desert. I was stationed at Huachuca. You've been to Huachuca.
Oh, the hot house?
The hot house.
Yes.
5,400 feet up. You get there for the PT test. We got there.
You better acclimatize.
We got there, looked at the weather forecast for the next day before BNOC started, and we all made a decision. We're taking the PT test at 3 o'clock in the morning on the airstrip. And the sergeant major was like, oh, okay. We all showed up. Everybody took the PT test and passed. Nobody wanted to take it during the daytime.
No, but even at 5,000 feet.
Dude, I was gassed
Yeah.
on the run.
I couldn't even do it now. I'm old.
Yeah. Oh, my God. I was
It
so
would
gassed.
take
It's
me like
brutal.
2 months to get in shape for that.
Yeah. Those of you who think you can run out there, if you haven't run 2 miles at speed at 5,400 feet elevation, it's a kick in the dick.
Oh my God.
it's a kick in the dick.
Not good.
This whole thing with the French finally standing up, I'm surprised it's taken this long. Blood or soil in 2022, immigrants made up just over 10% of France's population. That's enough to overwhelm.
Yes.
That's enough to overwhelm. We have those numbers here. It's already happening in Ireland. It's happening in England.
You can do it with 3%.
Yes, 70% of London is no longer English.
Yep.
They are no longer white. 70% of London. Immigrants made up just over 10% of France's population, with a little over a third having already obtained French nationality. Interior Minister Darmanin said in 2021 that between 600,000 and 700,000 undocumented migrants were living in France. So we have a number now, around 700,000 invaders. Potentially half as many, he stressed, in the neighboring UK. I doubt that strongly. I think the number is higher, probably around 400,000 or 500,000 at this point. Unsurprisingly, for a party that has painted what it calls uncontrolled immigration as a relentless assault on French culture, identity, and heritage, there is an average of 2 church burnings a week in France right now.
Really?
And France has some of the oldest churches in the world.
I know. I studied them when I was in college.
Yeah.
I took that class instead of taking the propaganda, mind-numbing indoctrination classes.
Okay. That's fair. That's fair.
Yeah.
They're all being burned.
And guess what? Once you burn that down, you can't really replace it.
No, it's gone.
Because that expertise doesn't exist anymore.
No, nobody knows how to do that anymore. I shouldn't say nobody, but there's probably like 3 people in the world.
Very few.
Who know how to do anything remotely like that anymore. Perhaps the most drastic of these measures would be abolition of France's droit de sol, the right to dirt is basically what that means, droit de sol, which automatically grants French nationality at 18 to people born on French soil to French parents, provided they have lived in France for at least 5 years since the age of 11. Instead, automatic French nationality would be restricted by blood, granted only to people born at least one French parent. Without this change, the proposal reads, no condition is put on obtaining French nationality. No love of the homeland needs to be shown. Then you don't have a country anymore.
Correct.
Everything is just dirt and people.
There you go.
Blood and soil means a lot.
Yep.
Blood and soil means a lot. It just does deal with it.
I mean, we have the same problem here as well.
Yes. We at least have a much stronger tradition of assimilating people, but the lie, which began in 1913, I want to say, when they started allowing immigrants in from the Slavic countries, is when they have 1928.
1928?
1928, they started allowing people in from the Slavic countries. The second they did that, whole swathes of the United States became those people, and they're completely different than the Europeans and everything.
Wow.
And then in 1965, they just cut all of that, and now they have lotteries. They've had lotteries for decades.
Well, we did have Pole Town here in Michigan. It's not.
I love myself some good punchkis.
Yeah, I know, but that's not Pole Town anymore. They've
it's
assimilated into the.
It's entirely Yemeni.
Yeah,
it's entirely Yemeni, and the best part here is when Hamtramck, the town that he's talking about, tried to do gay pride stuff. The new all-Muslim government of this formerly Polish neighborhood completely turned on the alphabet queer community and threw them out. And they pitched a huge fit, and the Muslims were like,
we don't care.
Feel free to blow it out your ass. This fundamental change would be accompanied by Bardella calls to a drastic cut in immigration levels through measures such as withdrawing residency from migrants who haven't worked in more than a year, ending family reunification visas, the systematic deportation of irregular invaders convicted of criminal acts, and the total offshoring of asylum applications. We have to protect our countries. This is absolutely insane. And here's what they've gotten for it. France migration chaos.
Are you sharing that? Because I don't.
Yeah, I am sharing that.
Okay.
I'm sharing that, right, Jimmy?
Yep.
Okay.
We're good.
This is from a British news channel. France migration chaos. 77% of rape cases in Paris committed by foreigners in 2023. Shock stats reveal.
Yeah. These are the numbers.
We've known this for over a decade now.
Yep. And here's the thing, though, is if the media apparatus worked, those numbers would be common knowledge to everyone.
Yeah, here's where they try to push it off, though. Watch this. Figures from Paris police headquarters said the crimes were largely committed at night. Okay, that's typical. In tourist hotspots, also typical. But they're trying to kind of blame it on tourists a little bit there, I think. And then near places where drug deals happened. What's missing here? The word invader / migrant.
Yes.
They're deliberately going,
well, I mean,
turning the knob just enough so that you're not thinking about it.
I know, but the thing is our media apparatus in this country is controlled by 6 corporations.
Yes.
And I bet you if you follow the money, the people who own or run those 6 corporations probably own or run the media outlets in the Western world as well.
Yes.
So the general population is not being told what's happening on the ground.
No.
And literally, they're going to find out when it's really bad. And then it's going to take drastic action.
Certain areas are starting to experience that already.
Yes. I mean, look at Ireland.
We're getting to that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I don't want to bring it up before time, man.
That's okay. It's okay. More than 3/4 of rapés on the streets of Paris last year were committed by foreign nationals, according to shocking data from the French authorities. Shocking. 97 rapés were recorded in public spaces in France's capital in 2023, fewer than a third of which have been solved. Yes, because they don't do anything about it even when they do solve it. Did I send you the video of the cop when somebody here, I forget where it was, I think it might have been Seattle, responded to a call about a double homicide, and the cop said, we're not going to do anything about it because he's an illegal immigrant,
I did not see that video.
and all they're going to do is turn him loose? They have the cop, they caught the cop on camera
Yep.
saying outright that we've been told that they're just not going to prosecute any illegal invader doing any crime at all, double homicide.
Yeah. And listen, I mean, that's only going to go so far, and then you're going to wind up with the mob.
Yes.
I mean, when there is no rule of law,
Yep.
something is going to replace that vacuum, and it's usually not anything good.
Yeah. Stats from Paris police headquarters said the crimes are largely committed at night, tourist hotspots near Points de Deal, a place where drug deals happened. More shocking figures revealed that 20 rapists had already been known to police, while 4 others had been on authorities' radar for other sex offenses. So they do nothing about it.
Correct.
They literally just do nothing about these things, and they let these creatures run free. And like I just said, it's already happening here in the United States, if you missed that. Europe once said the crimes had mainly been committed by men, most of whom were addicted to drugs, homeless, or unemployed, which is code phrase for illegal invaders, of course. The number of crimes has risen by 2% since 2022. I would say that's a significantly larger increase than 2%.
Yeah. Well, again, you really can't believe what
No.
the mainstream media is pumping out in this country or across the ocean.
Yeah.
You have to read between the lines. When you look at the title of this, it says 77%.
Yeah.
All right. And then they are scaling it down by removing words and gaslighting you and pointing the fingers at different things that possibly, like maybe they're shifting the blame. Well, you were too close to these bad neighborhoods. And these people, and basically making excuses for these crimes that take place.
Absolutely. That's completely what they're doing. It's the freaking 8/3 in one click.
Yep.
So that you're shooting 100 yards at 25 yards and
just off the silhouette.
Just off.
Yep.
Germany is acknowledging the unspeakable. In the spring of 2024, Herbert Rühl, Interior Minister of Germany's Westphalia, said something remarkable. We have a problem with non-German criminals. When Germany starts admitting this stuff after as socialist as they've been driven,
it's not a good thing.
Yeah, you know that people are starting to say, if you don't do something about this, we're going to. And do you remember a man named Adolf?
Yeah, the funny mustache guy.
Funny mustache. A lot of this stuff.
Yes.
This is how we get to this point. Perhaps, Prime Minister Rühl, you might want to do something about that before we're all out on the streets going like this.
All right. Shaking the jar.
Shaking the jar.
Shaking the jar.
What's remarkable is not what Rühl said, but the fact that a center-right politician from the Christian Democratic Union Party said it. I don't know much about German politics. I will admit this right up front.
I don't want to know.
I don't know who all the players are.
I don't want to know, to be honest with you, because let's face it, the EU is basically, I don't know, one penis flap away from being full-blown socialists.
But there are historical sites that I want to see in these countries. I don't want them to go away yet. I'm not done.
I understand.
Okay.
I got it. I understand completely.
I still have to see Hadrian's Wall, even though it's just a pile of rocks in Scotland. I need to see that fucking wall.
That would be kind of good to see that.
Yeah.
I never went to Scotland. I was in England.
It's on the
UK.
border between England and Scotland.
I know.
On one side you're England, the other side you're
I
Scotland.
went to the UK, and then we went to Ireland. I never went to Scotland.
I went to the West Midlands in England, which is Manchester, Birmingham, parts south, and then Wales, because Wales is right there. And we're like, oh, look, the Welsh border. Let's go to Wales and have a pint. Don't make sheep jokes in Wales. All the jokes you hear about Scotsmen and sheep, it's actually the Welsh.
The Welsh, huh?
Starts bar fights.
Nice.
As it turns out. Anyway, where were we here? Nancy Faeser, Germany's interior minister from the center-left Social Democratic Party, which courts voters. You can have a Social Democratic Party, but you can't have a National Socialist Party. That's interesting. Which it just seems like it's the same thing to me.
Well, it's word salad mixed around.
Right. Which courts voters of non-German ancestry. Oh, also said something which would have branded far-right provocation just a few years ago. We have to talk about the rise in crime by foreigners. These statements may sound benign, but they shatter taboos. German politicals and journalists have long suppressed discussion of why certain groups of foreigners are overrepresented in crime statistics. Section 12 of the official German press code even forbids identifying the ethnic ancestry of criminals to combat discrimination. Seems like this happened before, like in 1932. And then in 1933, this guy showed up and started,
bad stuff.
But he did things and stuff.
He did things and stuff. Yeah.
And stuff and things.
You really don't want to go back to the time of things and stuff. I don't want to go back to the time of things.
It's going to happen is the problem.
Yes, I know.
They have pushed it to that point. Any references to crime by foreigners, Ausländerkriminalität, as a distinct, yes, I can pronounce that.
Damn.
As a distinct problem were met with charges of xenophobia and racism.
Istophobe, igot talk. Again,
Yes.
They're trying to talk you into blame and shame so you will just sit down and be quiet. We need to stop sitting down and being quiet.
Yes. What has moved the Overton window is a stream of grim crime statistics published by government agencies or just as frequently leaked to journalists. I think there are a lot of Germans in German government who are actual real Germans that have been quietly and stoically gathering this material and leaking out a little bit at a time in hopes that their fellow Germans will wake up and go, maybe we need to be German and not this mush salad from...
Well, the globalists want the one world order. And the way they're going to make that happen is they have to destroy the nationalities of the various countries.
Race, nationality, and culture.
Yep.
Globalists.
And religion.
No, they want to be the religion. They want to be, that is a key tenet of Bolshevism. They want, you don't have to drink, I didn't say Bolshevik. See what I did there? That is a key tenet of Bolshevism, though, seriously.
Yeah.
The state becomes the religion. We saw this in the Soviet. It's portrayed over and over.
They're doing it in China.
Movies. And in China as well. In China, they did the Four Olds campaign where they literally erased all of China's history. They burned all of their texts. They burned all of their records. They destroyed all of their artifacts. They dragged an emperor out of his tomb and burned the bones. Just to erase all of Chinese history. Tons was lost. The reason so many Chinese are dumbasses today is because the intelligentsia was all killed off.
Yep.
All of the teachers, anybody who was teaching, anybody who had all that knowledge,
gone.
They were killed off.
Yep.
There
wasn't that covered in the 3-Body Problem on Netflix?
I don't know. May have been. I did not see that. I don't have Netflix.
Okay.
I don't have Netflix.
I don't have it either. I just remember seeing it on there.
That's fair. I had it once upon a time. I do not right now. There were 214,000 violent crimes, a 15-year high, and an increase of 8.6%. Robberies were up 17.4%. Knife crimes up 9.7%. That tells you that you have desert-oriented people right there. They're stabby. Homicides were up 1%. Sex crimes were up 2.4%. I were up a lot higher than that. There's all kinds of rapé going around Germany right now, and everybody knows it. It's worse in England, though. Other statistics from that state in 2023, 80.1% of pickpockets were foreigners, as were 47.6% of shoplifters, 47.3% of burglars, 41.6% of homicide suspects, 37.1% of suspects in violent sex crimes.
Violent sex crimes.
The Germany-wide statistics on sexual violence were also sobering. An internal study by the German Federal Law Enforcement Agency leaked to a Zurich newspaper revealed that asylum seekers have committed some 7,000 sexual assaults between 2015 and 2023. Now, bear in mind, Germany is a larger European country, but still
We have to use
small.
the word gang rapé.
Gang rapé.
Yes.
Did I not say gang rapé?
You kind of skipped over it.
Because
Listen,
I did.
essay is terrible.
Yeah.
But when you have a gang doing it, it's even worse.
Yes. The Indian people recently said of a European who commented on how rapé the Indian culture tends to be, that they were going to get revenge for that European person saying that by rapéing the next white person they came across.
Oh, nice.
You have slandered us and called us rapé, so now we're going to repay the next white person that we see.
Yeah. Awesome.
That's the logic that we're dealing with.
Mm-hmm.
That's the logic that we're dealing
That's from what? India, right?
That's correct.
I've never been to India. I don't think I want to go.
No desire.
I don't need any tuberculosis.
No desire.
Yeah.
In 2023, there were 761 gang rapés registered in Germany. Those are the reported ones. Almost 2 per day. 47.5% of the suspects were foreigners. I'm willing to bet you that the additional 52.5% were also foreigners, but had just acquired German passports.
Or they were born here.
Or born there, yeah. Yeah. Because the Germans are not known for that type of behavior. Weird scat porn, yes.
Oh, yeah. That's some crazy.
Literal gang rapé, not so much.
Yeah.
The frequency of such crime, I'm so worked up that I caught myself just now playing with the cord of my headset in a way that I might get it around a neck, perhaps. That's how upset I am right now. The frequency of such crimes, which were rare in Germany as late as the 1990s, has hovered between 600 to 800 per year for the last 7 years.
Okay.
That's
what
2 gang rapés a day.
What happened in the past 7 years?
I don't know.
Maybe
Is it dark in here?
A daisy train of immigrants.
Did it just get dark in here?
It might have. I'm just saying. And listen, I don't like having to talk about this subject.
No.
I don't.
No.
All right. I really, I did 33 years in the Army. I've served with every type of race and religion you can imagine, and I have no problem. I have a problem when they start releasing the numbers of the individuals who are, in my opinion, innocent bystanders to this shaking of the jar bullshit that's taking place.
The thing is, what we dealt with, and we mentioned this while we were eating too, is when we joined the Army in the era that we joined, and my drill sergeants actually said this to us: I don't care what color, religion, whatever you are, now you're green.
That's right. I got the same speech.
And that kind of sticks with you the longer you're in the Army. But we're talking about 1s and 2s here. These are invasions of whole cultures, bringing their whole culture in and setting up camp in your front yard and telling you how you're going to do things from now on.
But you also got to understand that a lot of these people who are immigrants from some of these less desirable places, they didn't really have organized law enforcement to deal with. So they can
there's none of that.
Well,
it's pure strongman.
Yeah. You can get out of pocket, but if they knew the local strongman, or if he was just like, nothing would get done.
Yeah.
Nothing would happen to these people.
Yep.
So they're like, they bring that same mentality here.
Yeah.
Or to wherever country they go to.
That's even true in some of the more civilized countries. I saw behavior like that in Indonesia. Is a surprisingly civilized country, by the way.
Well, they get draconian though.
They're very clean. If you throw bubble gum on the sidewalk,
You get
you're
caned. You get 5 whacks from a cane.
But the strongman rules apply. If you know the right people, you can get away with all kinds of things. And the same goes in Korea as well. If you know the right person, or you're able to properly bribe the right person in Korea, that you get away with quite a bit as well. There have been several incidents that I could go through. But
corruption is human nature to a certain extent.
It is, but it's institutionalized in a lot of these places.
Yeah, and unfortunately, that's starting to happen here as well.
The appalling figures released by the Federal Criminal Police Office of Germany revealed that a total of 677 gang rapés were recorded last year, up from 300 in 2018, an average of basically 2 per day. This is yet another article, this one from 2022.
So this is 2 years old.
This one is 2 years old. It's much worse now. It is a matter of imported crime and criminals. The federal government itself points out that suspects who have other nationalities in addition to German are classified as only German. Therefore, the actual proportion of foreigners among the perpetrators is well over 50%. What did I just say?
There you go.
He's admitting it. And he won't say it's probably closer to 90%. He just says well over.
It's kind of like when I use the word most. That
Yes.
can mean anything from 51 to 99%.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm just
This is the
We need to do a video called Gaslight Language.
Okay. We can do a video on gaslighting. I've got a bunch of the North Korean stuff we can use to set a baseline for that, because they're very, very good at ye old gaslighting.
Well, because words have power.
Yes.
And if you swap out the powerful words for neutered words,
or just change the meaning of them entirely.
Yeah, which is happening, unfortunately. But
there was a song in the 1920s called "We'll Have a Gay Old Time," which very much meant we're going to have a very good time.
Oh, yeah.
But that word has been so usurped by a certain faction of society that you can't even say that anymore. Because
I say it all the time.
You're going to have a gay old time?
No, I used to come in when I was
going to go up north this weekend and have a gay old time?
When I was in the Army.
Yeah.
And I was a team sergeant at 403rd Civil Affairs in New York.
Yeah.
I would arrive at 8:45, and we'd have a conference call at 09. And I'd walk through the door, and the first thing I would do is, "What's up, faggots?" And like all of my staff would sound off, and I would know who was there or who wasn't. If somebody wasn't there, I'd be like, "All right, what's this nuts?"
But see, you've let the word get usurped. That's
Yeah.
what I'm talking about. Anyway, we'll do a thing on gaslighting. Meanwhile, in Belgium, sexual violence is rampant in Belgium, shows new study. This is from 2021. Sexual violence is rampant in Belgium on the first large-scale representative and gender and age-sensitive study on sexual violence in Belgium. I'm not going to try to unminimize. Okay, unminimize. Understanding the mechanisms, nature, magnitude, and impact of sexual violence in Belgium. Experts from Ghent University, which was one of the best universities in Europe at one time, the University of Liège, and the National Institute for Criminology and Criminalistics, found that 2/3 of the Belgian population experienced sexual violence during their life. Now, you and I did a show on that back in like 2009, and that language included women claiming to be raped when like a guy brushed past their thigh.
Yeah, you're right. But here's the thing. The stats that they're putting out for the women getting essayed on college campus, if that was actually true, nobody would send their children to college.
Correct.
It's statistically just unsustainable.
Correct. I wish we could find the audio for that. What happened to all that?
I don't know, man.
It's gone.
I mean, I still
and
have the old
time.
computers. I don't know if I could dig it out.
Be interesting. Be interesting to hear what we had to say.
Yeah, it would. That was what, 2009, 10-ish?
9 and 10. It was 9 and 10.
Yeah.
Be interesting to hear what we had to say. See if you can find that.
I'm trying to dig up the
give me box
contact.
and I'll see if I can.
Remember
pull
the guy,
audio out.
our contact who ran the radio station out of Hawaii?
Yeah,
I'm trying to get his email address. I can't find it.
somewhere. Anyway, this Belgian study goes through all of these reasons and kind of glosses over.
Word cell is gaslighting?
Yeah,
Oh, no.
completely avoids the mention at all of illegal invaders and just says there's a lot of sexual violence and rapé going on, but doesn't bother to. And literally, the article is so full of gaslighting that it doesn't say who's committing any of these acts.
Yeah. It's
Which
listen,
is
this
what
whole
tells
thing
you
is
what it is.
infuriating.
Yeah.
It really is. Because let's look at it. All right. What is one of the targets? Like if you go to war with a country, all right, you try to attrit their ability to fight by either destroying their equipment or the personnel that are waging the war. And then you go after the morale. All right. That's what's taking place here.
Traditionally,
They're destroying the morale.
Traditionally, these sand-oriented individuals view rape pay as a spoil of war, and they're also trying to breed out their enemy.
There you go.
It's literally part of their culture. They consider the women of their enemies as spoils of war.
And it's written in the Book of Peace.
Where are the feminists on this one?
Yeah.
Guess what, sister? You're just a spoil of war. If these very peaceful immigrant invaders rapé you, you're just a spoil of war. I want you to know that, okay? And you welcome them with outstretched thighs, okay?
Listen, this is a very grim subject.
I'm mad about it. I hate to see women treated like this. It infuriates me.
It needs to be talked about honestly, and we're not getting that from the mainstream media.
Just absolutely baffling.
It's just not happening. This is happening in front of our eyes, and our media establishment is ignoring it here in this country and over in Europe.
Dude, this is one of my
this is infuriating.
This is one of my big hot buttons here. There are rapé factories, in the UK.
Yeah.
They have industrialized the rapé of the young English girls over there. This is there's the little guy that usually runs around inside of my head when I'm like stuck in traffic and stuff. He's in there right now with the 10-second button, censoring like phrases in my head.
I got
he's thinking, no, can't say that. No, cut that one off. At the back of my head, I am furious about this stuff. Sexual violence is up 16% in Italy in 2022, say the police. Thefts up 20%. Robberies up 18%. Post-pandemic teen crime surge. Right.
Yeah, I don't think so.
What's been going on in Italy for the past 4 years or so? Boatload after boatload after boatload after boatload of illegal invaders. There's an island there that has been completely overwhelmed, and they can't even feed everybody anymore, including the citizens who live on the island, of which there were only a couple of hundred.
Well, let's just be honest here. We know what's happening.
Yeah.
All right. This is a straight up invasion, and it is going to get worse, and it's going to get incredibly violent. Yeah. And can you imagine having a two-way rifle range and having to deal with this at the same time? I wonder if that was planned or not. Yeah, sure.
So we now move to the United Kingdom and Ireland. They're two different things.
When I sent you,
country, I'll punch you right in the face if you say Ireland is part of the UK.
Hang on.
Sorry, what?
I sent you this
right in the fucking face
because of this chart right here.
Number of police recorded rapé offenses in England and Wales from 2002 to 20 24.
But you see how it's pretty much even keel up until 2013, and then boom, it goes off the charts.
Look at the spike
Yeah.
right there in 2015 when it started.
I would say it started in 2014.
I would say it started in 2014 too, but the spike really goes. 2014 is your coincidence.
Yeah.
One time is a coincidence.
Everything
after
after
that is a pattern.
is a pattern. Yep.
Look at that. How do you look at data like this? And I'm literally choking back angry tears.
Let me measure this right here. So let's go to 2013.
Yeah.
So it's 1, 2. It's almost 4 times as high from 2013.
Bro,
It's more than 4.
2013, 16,374. 2024, 67,928.
Do the note. What's the one on 2021?
That's 5 times as many.
What's the one on 2021?
70,000 effectively.
All right, so we're over 4.5 times.
Yeah.
All right. When something explodes by 4.5 times its original number, that is not an accident. It's fucking intentional.
Yeah.
Just so you know.
So, along with the Rapay bonanza, we had 3 girls stabbed, and I can't remember the area they were stabbed in England, but they were, in fact, and they were killed by illegal invaders. One of them was a 17-year-old, and the English press tried to use that, say, "Oh, he's only a child."
We don't care.
Yeah, stabbed 3 girls to death.
Yeah, listen, I don't care if you're a minor and you commit murder. You should go down for murder. I don't care if you're out of your goddamn mind, illegally insane, and you kill somebody. You should still go down for it. I don't care if you're crazy. I don't care if you're young. You start taking lives and acting like a barbarian, you should pay the barbarian price. That's just my opinion.
And first of all, look at the photograph. See the facility that they have there? They've got facilities like this all over the country that spy on everything.
Correct.
Now, I wouldn't advise that anybody do this, but one of the things that we would do is find a way to gather photos like this to analyze what sort of systems they really do have.
Those are street cameras.
Back in when I was doing what I was doing, back in the early 2000s, late 1990s, we would very carefully analyze photos like this to look to see what their capabilities were and where those cameras and everything might be, and where any listening facilities they had and things like that. We did do things like that once upon a time. I'm not saying anybody should do that now.
Well, yeah,
but it was a technique that we used, which allowed us.
It's part of spycraft.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, you walk around, you find out where the cameras are, so you know where you can operate without being directly observed.
And you analyze photos like this, which they very generously provide for you in a lot of cases.
Yes.
These are things that we did. Don't do this yourself, okay?
I write about it in my novels.
He writes about it in his novel.
Yeah.
I've done it for real.
Like literally, the main character of my novels rolls through town looking for cameras.
Yes.
Figures out ways to move between places without being on camera. It can be done.
I do that on my drive to work all the time.
Yep.
To and from work. I'm always looking up and seeing what's where and what kind of surveillance devices are in the area. It's more and more lately. Bloomfield Hills is pretty much covered.
Yes. Oh, God, yes. So is Birmingham.
I haven't been to Birmingham in a minute. Anyway, from 9 August 2024, 60,000 riot officers.
6,000.
6,000. Sorry. Riot officers to be deployed this weekend. The past 2 nights have been quieter, but police said 6,000 riot officers will be deployed over the coming weekends as police wait to see if the worst of the violence and attempts to trigger it are over. Gavin Stevens, National Police Chiefs Council Chair, said, while the previous nights have been a welcome break from the appalling scenes of the last week, may have reached a turning point, we are by no means complacent. What they are talking about is all of the Brightons, all of the white people who are English, turning up in the streets and demanding responsibility from the government. And the British government did exactly what I said they were going to do.
Yep. They cracked down on the people.
They held back and held back during the riots. And then each night after the riots, they would go kick doors.
Yep.
And take people one at a time. That's how they're going to fight this war. They're not going to fight you head to head. They're not going to fight you in formation. That's not going to happen. They're going to come for you one at a time in the night. And that's already started here with the J6. You don't think it's going to happen here? Started in 2021.
It's only going to get worse.
They're already doing it. Oh, wait. Let's roll it back a while. It started like around 1992. David Koresh.
Oh, yeah.
When they kicked his door. He went jogging every day.
Yeah, I know.
He went out the front gate, went jogging every day.
I covered this. Yeah. They could have rolled up, hit him in the head with a sack of nickels, cuffed him, stuffed him, and the whole compound wouldn't have been murdered.
Yep.
Because that's what it was.
Randy Weaver, Lavoy Finicum.
Yep.
They've been doing this for years. Now it's just getting dialed up.
What year did
it's particularly horrible?
What year did that Randy Weaver thing take place?
The Ruby Ridge was, I want to say 94.
94?
93, 94. It was before I went into the Army. It was like right before I went into the Army. Somewhere in there.
It's just a buddy of mine.
Can you get us a Weaver report there, Jimmy?
On it.
All right.
Our message to those involved in the violence is we continue to comb through thousands of images, live streams, and videos, as well as body-worn footage to find you. So the message here from the British government is you now live in a totalitarian state, and even if you happen to be in the street at the time, they're going to pick you up. We know this because there have already been reports of it.
Yep.
Meanwhile, in Northern Ireland, which is part of the United Kingdom, which is stupid because it's Ireland and the British should go home. That's just me. Any anti-Islam protests in Northern Ireland will be policed effectively, says PSNI Chief Constable. Police are working to establish if social media calls for anti-Islamic protests in Northern Ireland this week will materialize on the ground. John Butcher urged people in society to push back against the poisonous nonsense of being propagated by those seeking to organize demonstrations against the Islamic faith. It's Ireland.
Yeah.
There has never been a more Catholic or Protestant country because we're rabid about that stuff. Oh, look, a shiny new God. We'll put him here with ours.
Well, here's the
That's
thing.
literally what happened with Christianity.
All right. At some point, the Irish are going to lose their shit, and you're going to have a IRA Part 3.
Yeah.
And if I hear My Little Armalite in the streets, I'm going to walk the other way because some shit's going to go down.
That's right. So what year was Ruby Ridge?
Ruby Ridge was on August 21st, 1992.
92. Okay.
And this is coming from thehistory.com. The first, after the headliner here, Randy Weaver, an alleged white supreme pizza, had been targeted by the federal government for selling 2 illegal sawed-off shotguns to an undercover ATF.
Never sold a shotgun. They tried to get him to. He would not.
Yep.
Yeah, what they were trying to do is get him to do that so they have dirt on him so then they could lean on him to do other shit.
Exactly. To infiltrate a white supreme pizza organization in the area.
Yep. Mm-hmm. And they ended up shooting him, shooting his wife, and killing an infant and the dog.
They shot his son.
Or his son, yes.
And his wife and the
his
dog.
Son and his wife. Yep.
Wife was holding the baby in her arms when
she was smoked.
FBI sniper shot a woman in the head holding a baby. That's your FBI.
Now, that was in 92. I recall, like...
Yeah, I knew it was before I went in.
No. I actually know a couple guys who went to the Sodic Sniper School. And that one FBI sniper was there after that whole thing happened.
That's balls.
Yeah. So, I just say.
That's because that was 1992.
And this is just secondhand, third-hand stuff. I didn't see this, so... Apparently, there were some threats made, and,
So, meanwhile, in Frankentrannyland, there's an Irish teacher who has been jailed and made to stop teaching in Ireland because he won't move past the archaic and outdated notion that there is naught but boys and girls.
Yeah.
And he has been arrested for a third time, and the scene in front of his house was 6 of the Gardaí, the Irish police, surrounding him and stuffing him into a police van. And this is like a 60-year-old teacher.
Yeah,
a school teacher. all he's doing is saying, I don't believe your nonsense. There's boys and girls, and that's just how it is. And that's just a biological fact.
Yeah.
Sorry.
That's the truth on the ground.
It is.
This is just getting insane.
Yeah. Enoch Burke was jailed for contempt of court when he approached Wilson's Hospital School. He had been suspended from his job teaching there because he refused to accept a policy requiring teachers to use students' favored pronouns.
All right, hang on a minute.
What?
All right, this whole pronoun thing. All right. I was taught English. I use it a certain way. I'm 55. There's no way I'm going to be able to use your preferred pronouns if I can't even remember your goddamn name. The best you're going to get out of me is dude et.
There you go.
That's it. That's all you're getting out of the popster.
There you go. I unfortunately have a sister who has my niece who has allowed my niece to start behaving in this manner and is insisting to be addressed by pronouns, which I politely but firmly skate around by never putting a sentence out of my mouth to her that requires a pronoun. And it drives her banana cracker.
Yeah.
But that's just how it is. And I don't care.
You're right.
This is going on in Ireland. Meanwhile, in Ireland, black gangs are dancing around castles. And I don't know if you've seen some of the attacks, the Africans that are being forced into into Ireland, just attacking Irish people in the streets. There was a good one, though. A couple of these invaders attacked an Irish boy who happened to be, an Irish traveler.
Ooh.
Now, the travelers have always been in Ireland, and they're a displaced group of people. They're not true gypsies. They're Irish, but they were displaced couple hundred years back during, I forget what the incident was.
Potato famine?
No, it wasn't the potato famine. It predates that.
Okay.
At any rate, they kind of wander around Ireland, and everybody leaves them be, and everybody knows not to mess with them because you'll get disappeared. Well, these Africans attacked one of the traveler boys. A bunch of travelers went and found the group of Africans who did that, and absolutely hammered them into the freaking dirt. One of them had ball-peen hammer. And you could see him just go to work on the back of the thighs on this guy.
That's not a good thing.
And they were cussing up a storm in enough Irish that I didn't know.
In Gaelic?
They speak pikey.
Pikey?
Which basically is pikey.
So they're basically Irish gypsies.
And if you're not pikey, you don't speak pikey.
Yeah, I got you.
Nobody understands what they're saying.
So they're Irish gypsies.
Yes, they're travelers.
All right, whatever word you want to put
the Brits. The Brits call them jippos, but they're not. Not the same thing. At any rate, these same people, church leaders condemn anti-Islamic protests. Now we're getting into the fruitcake. Look at this guy.
Yeah.
Look at this. Tell me this isn't an easily manipulated pedophile right here.
He's an ipulist.
An ipulist. Church leaders in Northern Ireland say they are appalled by calls for anti-Islamic protests this weekend. Church leaders in Ireland are saying this. A number of social media posts have been shared asking for people to gather and block roads in the greater Belfast area and elsewhere. The people have said they are aware of the social media posts and are planning appropriate police response. This insanity.
This is how you wind up with the Civil War. Right here.
I've been watching the chats go by the way, and I think we've got quite a few super chats.
Yes, we're
that deserve proper responses. I saw a couple go through that require answers. So I'm going to go through this one,
and then we'll start
and
chatting.
We'll move on to the super chats because I'd like to respond in depth to a couple of these.
Okay, yeah, that sounds good.
So I will share this tab instead. Boy 11 among 14 held over riots in Middlesbrough and Hartlepool. Man, 20, jailed for trying to instigate riot in Huddersfield. Boy 15 admits throwing glass bottle in unrest in Bolton. That's like what 15-year-old kids do. It just is. Okay. But an 11-year-old boy has been arrested in connection with this summer's riots as police vowed to continue catching people suspected of being involved despite dwindling prison places. I almost moved to England in 2010. I guarantee you I would have ended up in an English prison for this.
Yes.
And then probably...
I remember that too. I'm
Yes.
glad you didn't move there.
Yeah.
That would have been a huge mistake for you.
Huge mistake. The boy was one of 14 people, including a mother and son, held in dawn raids for an 11-year-old across Teesside over disorder in Middlesbrough and Hartlepool. At least 3 11-year-olds are among the hundreds of people who have been arrested by police in England and Northern Ireland. You're arresting 11-year-olds, you sodomite bastards.
Yeah, well, I mean, 11. I mean, that's, what, 6th grade?
You whack them on the back of the head and say, go home, kid.
Yeah.
That's it. It's it. It's all you need to do with an 11-year-old.
I don't know.
Superintendent Mark Anderson of Cleveland Police, not Cleveland, Ohio, Cleveland, England, it's actually a place, said on Wednesday that he had never seen anything like the unrest in Middlesbrough in his 30 years of service. The force has now arrested 110 people in connection with the 2 riots. After the raids, DCI Sarah Robinson said, the message is, if you haven't gotten away with it, we can identify you and we will arrest you. You will be arrested and you will be put before the courts. Behind every crime there is a victim, and some of the stories we have been told have been really harrowing, I'm sure. In West York, like the 3 girls who were stabbed to death that these people were rioting over.
Yeah. Now, here's the thing. All right. This is a prime example of the police being used to basically quash out half of the argument. People just don't show up in the street and riot over nothing.
Yeah.
So obviously there was a catalyst that made that happen.
Girls.
Instead of dealing with the catalyst that's making this happen, they're going after the people who are responding to the catalyst. All right. Listen, if you have people in your community getting murdered by illegal aliens, you have every right to be upset about it. Every right. You should be allowed to protest. In a peaceful protest, in my opinion. But at some point, if they don't deal with the problem, you're going to, historically speaking, you're going to get the mob. The mob is going to handle it. That is very ugly, and a lot of people get, ground up in that shouldn't be involved. You should have a government that should step in and stop this shit before it gets out of hand. Because guess what? When a government can't govern, it gets replaced or it gets destroyed by something else. I'm just saying.
Look, clearly these governments, and this includes the one here in the U.S., unfortunately, are taking orders from foreign entities and acting upon them to the extreme detriment of the citizens of their own countries. This has had only one name for as long as mankind has had countries and or kingdoms or empires or whatever you want to call it. And that one word is treason.
Yep.
Shall we super chat?
Yes, we shall.
Jimmy,
Alrighty.
that thing.
Why don't we take a quick piss break?
You need a piss break?
Yes.
Quick pee break.
I,
All right.
Pussy.
I know. I'm weak. I'll be right back.
All right, here you go.
We're not worthy! We're not worthy!
are back. The squirrel bladders have been emptied.
Yep.
All right, we'll start over here with Super Chats over here on YouTube. We got 647 viewers and 324 likes. About half the ratio.
Okay. All right.
Not bad. First off, here we got Aaron Williams with $5. Says federal judge Leonie Brinkema wants HIV positive people to serve in the military.
Oh God.
No, that's a clear threat.
Yes.
No, that is an obvious clear threat. No.
It's biological warfare, if you ask me.
Look, if you want to really trash the recruiting numbers worse than they are now, then just go ahead and do that.
Yeah.
Just go.
Or you could throw the Rock $11 million and get negative recruitment.
It was great.
Angry Cops covered that. That was funny.
Yeah, I saw that.
It was fantastic.
Let's see. Jam 3555, $20. No comment there. Thank you, good sir. Alex Patino, he's got two in a row here. First one for $5. He says, in Britain, all of the grappe cases are blamed on Asian G-Angs.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
And the second one here says, the reason in Germany I can't have a National Socialist Party is because Austrian painter Adolf, his party was NSDAP, the National
of them. Yep.
Socialist Deutsche Arbeiter Party.
Yes.
Correct.
Pretty sure I butchered that one.
That's fine.
Yeah, I don't speak Kraut, so.
Ich spreche Sie Deutsche?
No.
9. Arthur Digsby Sellers here with $1.99 says it's all about morale. It's a psych game, guys.
Yes, it is.
Yes, you are correct. It is all about morale, and they're doing everything they can to destroy your morale.
Yep. See, John, $5 here says, "Hey, Battledorf and Pop, have you heard about the new Chase Bank glitch phenomenon? A bunch of
hysterical.
No, I've not heard this.
bunch of winners this generation, huh?"
This is great. Do it, Jimmy.
So I don't know the whole background of what's been going on, but I have seen the videos of it. Apparently, there was a glitch in the Chase banking records where you could deposit a check for any amount and instantly withdraw it.
Oh shit!
Yeah,
you can see where the issues lie in that. Right?
And the cool cigarette-oriented community has decided that this means that money is actually theirs, and they're going around withdrawing it. Then they go to check their bank balance and discover a negative $33,000 balance, and they can't understand why.
Bummer. Money ain't free, baby.
No.
I think it's hysterical.
There's nothing under the sun that's free.
I think
everything costs something. Sorry.
Yep. Blood or sweat, something's costing something.
Yep.
Shadow Tempest here with $10 says, reminds me of when the English tried to breed out all the Scots during the wars for Scottish independence. I'm seeing the same thing now in Europe, and Islam had conquered Europe during the Ottoman rule.
This is technically on a granular level the same idea, except this is the extermination of an entire haplogroup.
Remind me again, what's the word that calls for an extermination of an entire ethnic group?
I think it's genocide.
I think it's genocide.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
Are we allowed to say that? Can we say
I
that
think we
word?
can say that word.
Yeah, we are describing a word with a description, so
Yeah.
what's going on?
Okay.
I think we're good. Let's see, G-Man here with 7 said, guntuber Paul Harold passed. A good man with a lot of common sense advice for ethical thoughts in action.
All right, here's to him. I remember watching his channel.
Yep. Cancer sucks. Fuck cancer. Here's to you, Paul.
Cancer's probably going to get most of us, so it just is what it is.
Yep. And let's see, last one here on YouTube. Got Dixon Slida, $2 Australian, says, Pop, did you receive your Stompy robots?
If they're mailed to me, I haven't gone to the
Stompy robots?
I haven't gone to the mail.
I didn't know there were Stompy robots involved.
If they were mailed to me, I have not got them yet. So
okay.
Well, might be a good time to go check that old PO
I
box.
gotta do that.
Lazy bastard. All right, let's see. We got 773 over on the Rumblies and the Tumblies, and if I do a refresh, I'm going to lose the chat, so we're not going to do that.
I will do it. We have, I see 776 viewers.
On Rumble?
778 and 196 likes. Pushing the margins there. That's 25%, a little over.
Yeah. Also, let me put this out real quick. Next week, there will be no shows. I'm going to do a supporter stream for the supporters on Sunday, but we're off the air next week. We're taking a vacay. I have some land I have getting worked on up north. I can't be in two places at once. So, and Blake is going on a road trip with some of his buddies. He's taking a vacay. So that's what's going to take place next week. Just letting you guys know ahead of time. All right.
All right. Sounds good. All righty, let's see. We'll start over here on Rumble here. Got MX Stilgar, a.k.a. Jerry Conway there. Good to see you, Jerry. Says, Shalom, MGTOW brothers. Love and peace from Boston. For anyone who believes Democrats don't lie, let me reference two Orwellian examples, the Affordable Care Act and the Anti-Inflammation Act. Yeah.
All right.
It's not wrong.
No.
Not wrong at all. All right, let's see. Next one. Dungus Fun here says the best way to have only have one religion is to destroy all artifacts of all the old religions.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, that's what the Bolsheviks are trying to do. That's
Drink.
exactly what they're trying to do. Sorry.
We got a game going. God damn it.
The Western Citizen here says Orthodox Christianity was the original church established by Jesus Christ. The men who talk about the stuff during the fellowship. No other Protestant church I was part of talked about any of this shit.
Well, once the Freedom Seas release and enough people feel enough pain, you're probably going to see religion come back. Just saying.
It happens that way.
Yeah.
It happens that way.
I would not be opposed to that. Some people need some guidance. God damn it.
Yeah, they do.
Frank Rizzo here with $10. He's giving us a big old thank you.
Thank you very
Thank
much.
you.
Thank you. And Western Citizen coming back in says, my brothers at the Orthodox Church are in the talks of starting a fight club. You don't hear any kind of talk about at that pussy whipped leadership Protestant churches.
Fight club.
If you guys are already starting a fight club, you're already breaking rule number one of Fight Club. Just saying.
Oh, I mean, there is that, though.
Let's see. Dungus Fun here with $2 says, is it possible that these governments are trying to get rid of feminism by immigrating a bunch of people that do not believe in it?
No. Feminism was a tool. Well, yes and no. Feminism was a tool comprised of useful idiots, the feminists. Those useful idiots have reached the end of their usefulness. Now they're bringing in the next tool in the toolbox with the next group of useful idiots, and the old group of useful idiots, the feminists, will be killed or shown the door. Most likely killed.
They're basically saying face the wall without actually putting you up against the wall.
Pretty much.
Pretty much, yeah.
And Western Citizen coming back in says, pussy whip Protestant leadership singing Kumbaya during a total system collapse. Men today are pussy whipped and raised in the image of the mother instead of the father as God intended.
Yeah, I agree.
I agree too. I can't argue with that.
Yep. Let's see. Pixels G-Tow with $5. He's giving us an 07 salute. Giving you one right back.
Raw.
All right, let's see. Gorilla Bear here says, as a Canadian, I, in my fantasy world, of course, would build a super prison on Ellesmere Island and put all the criminals there. If they escape, it's just a question of what kills them first, the cold or the bears.
Ooh, I like this idea.
Cold bear.
I propose science experiments. Prisons in bear country. I like this idea.
I think the Russians already have you beat on that one.
That's fine. That's fine. I'll invite the Russians to participate as well. We'll send them volunteers.
We'll trade homeworks, and when we turn it into the teacher, we'll make sure it doesn't look like the same.
Yeah,
we watched that show on some of those Russian prisons, man.
Oh, bad news. It's bad news.
No.
Bad.
Let's see. Sarku here with $2 says, Russian communists overran the Catholic Church 100 years ago.
That's correct, actually. More like 130, but yes.
Yep. Western Citizen coming back in says, everyone convert to Orthodox Christianity. The Western Church is a communist compromised.
You're probably correct.
That's, we just mentioned that.
Yeah.
Isn't it written in the good book that women shall never lead the church?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. Well,
they can sing. That's it. That's all they're permitted to do. Sorry, ladies.
Sorry.
It is.
Yep. And Western Citizen, I saw this one earlier. I got to tiptoe around the speech with this one. He says, who's keeping up to date on the military summary? Russia is kicking Ukrainian Nazi European cigarette ass. Bundle of steak ass.
Well,
strange choice of words.
Hang on.
Yeah.
I'm not going to get into this during this show because that's a whole other rabbit hole we can go down.
It is. We meant to do that.
Yeah.
So we'll talk about that in another show. We very much intend to talk about exactly that in another show, maybe after your hiatus.
Yeah, okay.
I'll start. That'll give me time to get some battle maps together. I'll do
Fair
that.
enough.
I'll do that thing.
Absolutely. All right. Let's see. Moving on here. Sarku coming back says Ukraine drones using primitive contacts for detonation. A wire ran through a circle. When the drone hits the target, it forces contact and detonation.
Yeah,
that's smart.
Well, first of all, that they've been doing that forever. That's nothing new.
Yeah.
The Viet Cong were masters at that.
Yep. And Sarku is continuing on. He says the circle is the positive and the wire running through the middle is the negative.
Yeah, but that's not really a safe way to do it. Just saying.
No.
Have you met Russian or Ukrainian?
I have not.
Is not a safe problem. Is enough vodka problem.
I've seen a video on Twitter recently that there was literally one of the Russians or Ukrainians, they literally find a landmine, pick it up and throw it like a Frisbee.
Yes. That's what I'm talking about. Safe is not really a word in their vocabulary.
No.
Anyway.
No. That's the Western Citizen coming back and says, Iskander.
My brain will not process that word at this moment, but I know it means something, obviously. I mean, it has relevance to what we're talking about here.
There we go. Let's see. International House of Whoop Ass here coming in. Says, with everything that's going on, when someone comes to my door, I already have my Mossberg 930s pointed, and all I need to do is pull. I better know you are coming because if now, POW or POW right in the kisser.
Well,
I blame people.
Let's hope it doesn't come to that. Okay, yeah. I don't want to see any of that shit happen to anyone, especially myself.
Yep.
Yeah. All right. Let's see here. Next one here. I got Jerry Conway coming back again. Says, Shalom, gents. Battle Dwarf. Please read this one. Check email for subject where the religion of peace really began. Genesis 16, chapters 7 through 12.
Okay. I will check for email.
Check the email. Let's see here.
Man, we got a lot of emails in the past hour.
Oh.
European turmoil. It's right there.
Okay. Carry on, Jimmy.
Carrying on here.
We'll get to that. I'm not gonna read it right now on the show because of time constraints.
All right.
But I will get to it and I will respond. I owe a response to another viewer as well. You will be getting a response.
Yep.
Alrighty. Western Citizen come back, says, we got sold out by our own race and it's killing me from the inside out. Our own women chose them.
That's nothing new. So.
Yep. See, Sarku says horse barracks at Hachua are not cool. Are cool. Not a bad place to be based, minus the Valley Fever.
At Huachuca?
Huachuca. Yep.
Yeah. I mean, Huachuca is great until you go outside in the summer. It's not so bad in the fall or the winter.
A great place to be based. It is different from when I was there then, because when I was there, it was a handful of Hopi Indians, a bunch of sadness, and a lot of families who couldn't wait to PCS.
Yeah, I went there in 2009 for a couple classes.
I was there in 2002 and 2003.
Yeah.
The LLVI mountain section, mountain faces there.
Yeah. Oh.
and it's at 11,000 feet, and
That's high.
then you've got the LLVI packs.
Nice.
Yeah, so balls.
Can't be good.
Balls.
Balls.
Anyway,
International House Whoop Ass coming back says, also, have you guys heard anything about the rumors of a power outage before the election that would last 3 to 4 weeks? Just in case everyone should be buying a generator, food, guns, also dope and beer.
I live in the countryside, and everybody, including our household, has generators and guns and food and our own water supply. So
there you go.
Fair enough.
Let's see. Sarku says men aged 16 to 35 get out of the urban centers and surrounding suburbs if you can.
Well, easier said than done for most people.
Yep.
I mean, I would do it myself, but I have my mother. To
you have constraints at the moment.
Yes.
Yep. And Western Citizen coming back in says, I'm white in a blue state. I'm going to die here. This is my land.
That's fine.
Fair enough and understandable.
Yep.
There you go. See, Sarku coming back in says, I am a human being living in a bat crap crazy world.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Aren't we all? And well, M. Tyler, he's got our first not worthy of the night, dropping $50.
We're not worthy! We're not worthy!
Thank you very much.
Thank you, man.
Thank you, good sir. Says it's infuriating when collectivists label others with their own collectivist totalitarian ideologies. Socialists must turn totalitarian to implement their utopia.
Correct. It never works because
Yes.
of human nature.
You will live in the pod and eat the bugs. To that I say a big old go squat down on a cactus.
Yeah, there you go.
Be sure to spit on it first if you want it.
So, Klaus, the pod in our case here in Michigan is a hunting blind, and we put the bugs out for our chickens. So
There you go.
Yep. The pod is a deer stand in a tree that's 25 feet up, and we don't move for 8.5 hours.
yeah, we are some patient motherfuckers.
Yes. See, Sarku coming back says, turn the illegals over to the televangelist sex dungeons.
That's creepy as hell.
Yeah, what the hell?
That's what?
What? That's not a good. What? No.
What?
Bring out the gimp.
What's going on? What happens in your part of the world? Carry
I don't
on.
know. See, Anonymous here with $2 says, Jay Dyer did a recent podcast demonstrating that the Fabian socialists wrote 100 years ago they were going to flood Europe with the Muslims.
Yes.
Yes.
Again, I recommend You Gentiles by Maurice Samuel, written in 1924. And I'll drop that in
Because
the
there's
chat.
nothing new under the sun.
No.
They've already talked about this
Yes.
already.
There you go. If you ever want a history lesson, Battledorf is the guy.
I am the guy.
See, Gorilla Bear here, he says, I heard most of the pickpockets in Paris were Muslims and learned very quickly to leave the Americans alone because the Yankee boys trapped their wallets and brutalized any thieves they caught.
Oh, good.
That is entirely possible.
Yep. See, Sarku says, Man in the High Castle is a good watch on Amazon.
Yeah, I have to finish watching that. I'm about halfway through like the second season. So. Yeah.
There you go. Yeah, Sarku with another recommendation here for you. Quartermass and the Pits is a great sci-fi movie out of 1967 England.
Never heard of it.
Yep. And it says Stephen King and Brandon Boyce Apartment Pupil is a scary movie.
Okay.
There you go.
What?
Wrong stream, man. You need to get the movie Dork Blake in on there.
Yeah, we need
Yeah.
movie dork Blake for that. Blake, there isn't a movie Blake doesn't know.
Oh, no, there are a few,
Are there?
but not many.
I have never encountered a movie that Blake did not know and could not tell you.
No,
like
no.
all sorts
Some of the older ones he doesn't know about.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. The newer stuff, yeah, good luck.
Yeah, 1967 England. I don't think that would be Blake's specialty.
Yeah, you're probably right.
maybe sort of it. But moving on here, we got Jerry Conway come back, says, Shalom, gents. Check email for Dirty Harry 1972 on Rapé.
Oh, I believe I know the speech you're talking about. Dirty Harry gives a little speech on the subject before he causes somebody to acquire additional ventilation.
Yep.
Unalive them?
Unalive them.
Yeah. Callahan, sir. I don't want any more trouble like you had last year in the Fillmore district. Understand? That's my policy. Yeah. Well, an adult male is chasing a female with intent to commit rapé. I shoot the bastard. My policy. Intent? How do you establish that? When a naked man is chasing a woman through an alley with a butcher knife and a heart on, I figure he isn't out collecting for Red Cross. I think he's got it.
You have it memorized.
Damn. All right.
No, I brought up the email.
Oh,
okay.
Oh, okay.
It's been a while. It's been a long time since
Jimmy
I've seen
Bones
it.
has got untold skills. Anyway.
No. Also, I apologize for my Dirty Harry accent. Or impression. That was quite bad. I'll work on it. Let's see. Sarku says, words have meaning and names have power.
That is correct.
That's correct.
That's why I am a stickler when it comes to naming enemies.
Yep. And let's see. Deus Machina Prime. Well, he doesn't have any words for us, but he's got a thumb for us. Hopefully that thumb doesn't go up our ass. But he's also dropping a $50 with that thumbs up.
We're not worthy! We're not worthy!
Thank you very much.
Thanks, man.
Thank you. See, Sarku says, our women know this. They would rather be treated this way than put up with their own men.
In the beginning, yes.
Yeah, exactly. In the beginning.
You just wait.
Yeah.
That does not end well for you.
Mm-mm.
Nope. Let's see. And Sarku coming back says, oh, wait, I get this. This is just another feminist shit test for us men.
Well,
I'm not laughing at you, Sarku. I'm laughing at the women who are saying that.
Well,
you're right, but
for the women out there, they're not going to be laughing when over half of them are single without children when they reach the 40 to 80 zone. Because that's when the shit gets really interesting for them.
It's a long time, 40 to 80.
Mm-hmm.
yes,
See,
yes, it is.
Western Citizen coming back says, Turkish President Erdogan told every jihadi entering Europe to have 10 kids. Erdogan is owned by Soros. White girls prefer men from patriarchal societies. Diversity is fucking us.
I really can't go into detail on that right now, but it doesn't sound too far off the mark.
Yeah. Let's see here. All right, moving on here. Yep, there we go. And Single for Life, he's got a request for us. And Pop, it's one of your favorites.
Okay.
Oh, good.
It's green screen abuse, man.
It is green screen abuse.
It's green screen abuse.
But it's funny, though.
Oh, God.
Uh-huh.
See, Sarku says, think about what the Ukrainians have done with drones in the battlefield. Rest assured you that this knowledge will be used against you.
Yes,
So I'm going to take your statement and roll it back a little tiny bit. Think of what Ukrainians have been taught to do with drones on the battlefield, because Ukrainians don't invent anything except for new ways to get hangovers and be found on a bus stop in Kyiv in the morning. Those drones are coming from us.
Mm-hmm.
As is the knowledge of how to use them, which means your government has drones that they can do that to you with.
Correct.
Just
FYI.
Just a random fun fact there for you.
Ukrainians are not known for their technological prowess.
No.
Carry on.
See, Sarku says, stop harping on the Nazis for their response to the communists in the 1930s. Worry about what the communists in your school district and neighborhood are up to. Yeah. Which general was it that says we were fighting the wrong enemy?
Patton.
That was
Who
MacArthur.
mysteriously died,
Patton. That was Patton.
Patton. Yeah, it wasn't MacArthur because MacArthur was in the Korean War.
No, he was a dick. Fuck that guy.
Yeah.
I like Patton.
See, Tomahawk here with $10 says, does the modern Stasi not understand what happens when shit boils over? Are they completely ignorant of history?
Well,
No, they just think they're going to get away with it. They really
al-
believe they're going to get away with
they
it.
always think they're going to get away with it.
Mhm.
Everyone who does shit like this thinks, oh, well, it'd be different for me. No, it's not. It's not. You're not special. And yes, the rules do apply to you. So
No,
fuck
but we
off.
haven't tried communism here.
Get out of
before.
here with that bullshit. I'm sick of that.
It hasn't been tried right the first time. What's going to work this time? Wham. Let's see. I'm going to spice this one up a little bit. It's we're a few months out of December. We're going to, Christmas Carol. I've already seen one Christmas fucking commercial, and it's not even fucking Halloween.
Yeah,
but
me too.
Western Citizen drops this one and says, "I'm dreaming of a white unity."
Oh, stop.
Jimmy.
Stop it.
Let me guess. You want me to go in the corner and punch myself in the dick?
No, you're fine. We don't want none of that.
Jay.
Yeah, singing is not my strongest trope. Sorry.
That's all right.
Let's see, Single for Life here says, hello to all the G-Man on the chat. Hi, guys.
All right.
Let's see. Hey, there he is. Professor Blake's Poo Ass Blaster 3000 says, did hear that the Hells Angels are coming to Colorado to get rid of all the gang in that Aurora complex. You're being fed misinformation.
That's probably not going to happen until things get way worse. Just saying.
Yep. Let's see. Sarku here. The women of the U.S. on average have a DNA over 10 men in their schizoid bodies.
Well, I have been making jokes about the 1,000 cock stare when they walk across the stage for their high school diplomas, so I would have to say that's accurate.
Ugh. That's a lot of Richard salad.
Yes, it is.
Swimming around. Tantalum 180 here says, saving lives and entertaining working work after week. Readily silly assed, barely paid for comments. Greta scorns you for taking time off. How dare you?
Look, man, I can't be in two places at once. I'm just saying.
I was going to make a joke, but
I got you.
I'll leave it at that. Let's see. Dungus Fun here says, why are gangs still alive? Here's why. They stick together. They see one getting arrested and they have their back.
Yeah.
Rack up, pack up, and stack up. That's what that means.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, let's see. Alucard's also got a request. It's also another one of your favorites, Pop.
Ruh-roh.
I'm just going to wait for it. Just let the anticipation happen.
I hate that one.
Every time. Funny every time.
Well,
It's funny every time.
which one do you hate more, Pop? That one or the request from Professor Blake Poo Ass Blaster? You want to give that a double salute that you just gave the camera there, Battle?
No, I'm good. We're good. Carry on.
We're good. Carry on. Carry on.
All right, let's see. And Sarku coming back says Battledorf is going all X-Files on us.
I am. What was I going X-Files on? Did I miss something?
I didn't think you're going X-Files.
Did I speak in tongues again?
Well, we're talking about actual shit that's happening.
Yeah.
I think we're going more like Twilight Zone.
Yeah, Twilight Zone would probably be more.
I think that'd be more appropriate. See, Single for Life says, guys, what do you think about Putin allowing people to immigrate to Russia?
I'm going to be honest and say it is at least an interesting idea. I will not be participating myself, but it is an interesting thought.
Fair enough.
Yeah. Yeah, you don't have to worry about the illegal crimes and all that other stuff. You just have to be worried about being conscripted into the army to go fight a war you don't want to fight for.
Yeah.
Also, if you're not accustomed to any kind of winter, you do not need to go into a Russian winter.
No.
It will hurt you.
It is brutal.
Yeah.
Yep. Let's see. Next one here. Cliff3188. Good to see you there, brother. Says, Pop, mine and my brother's channel, Out of Service, got raided this weekend, and we got a decent chunk of change from it. Here's some shekels from inspiring us to start our own channel. Keep being awesome.
Outstanding.
Hell yeah.
Good stuff.
I don't want to see anyone get raided. That's not good.
No, when you quote raid someone's channel, that means you just you invite a bunch of people to jump in the chat.
All right.
It's nothing like SWAT. It's not like swatting.
Okay.
It's just a bunch of people come over into your chat and
don't say raid to guys like us because we'll only be on the extra few minutes and everybody will be dead.
I got raided. That was bad, right?
Mm-hmm.
And Sarker coming back says, my city has changed out the soft, mellow street lights with bright white lights. Drones with cameras to follow.
Wouldn't be terribly shocked.
I wouldn't be shocked either.
Honestly.
Yep. Let's see. Excuse me. Jerry Conway come back says, this is a 50-second read. I meant for Battledorf to read it out loud. Please check email where the religion.
I have pulled it up, and he's right. I should get through this in probably 30 seconds. The angel of the Lord found Hagar near a spring in the desert. It was the spring that is beside the road to Shur. And he said, Hagar, slave of Sarai, where have you come from and where are you going? He said, I am running away from my mistress Sarai, she answered. Then the angel of the Lord told her, go back to your mistress and submit to her. The angel added, I will increase your descendants so much that they will be too numerous to count. The angel of the Lord also said to her, you are now pregnant and you will give birth to a son. You shall name him Ishmael. For the Lord has heard of your misery. He will be a wild donkey of a man. His hand will be against everyone, and everyone's hand will be against him. And he will live in hostility toward all his brothers. It's interesting. You claim that this is the origin of Islam.
Okay.
I'd have to do more research on that. I have not heard that. I know this verse, but I have not heard that it is supposedly the origin of Islam, which didn't even turn up until the year 690, which would have been 3,000 years after. Yeah. Almost 4,000 years after this should have been written.
There you go. And Sarku, he's breaking up the monotony with a joke here. Says, boobies without nipples are pointless.
I mean, you're not wrong.
You're not wrong.
Yep. Oh, and this wasn't a super chat, but Sigmund was a fraud. Says, only punch yourself, Jimmy, if you record it.
No.
All right. And Tantalum1A says, it's okay, Jimmy roast me. I hacked that one up minced dog shit too. Oh, there we go. Let's see. Kira Ninja Double O says, Haktua Harris says she's going to take our guns and take over small businesses. Your opinion?
Probably not going to work out. That's all I got to say.
Yeah, she got less than 3% of the vote in the primary back in 2019.
I believe it was 1%.
So, yeah.
And Sarku says, Bolsheviks. Drink.
Bolsheviks.
Drink.
I believe the game is I have to say it, but I did.
There you go. And and it looks like last one here on Rumble here. Jerry Conway come back and says Ishmael was the father of all Arab nations. The religion came millennia later.
Now I see what you're saying. Okay, yes, I know that to be true. Okay.
There you go. All right, that cleans everything up on Rumble. We had a couple more jump back over here on YouTube here from Alex Patino here. It says, in 2008, I read a book called Carnifex, written by retired Army Colonel Tom Kratman. It's a fiction about how Muslims took over Europe.
Interesting.
There you go. And he follows it up with all Arabic claim it to be descendants of Abraham through Ishmael.
Fair enough.
There you go. That's where that comes from. All right, we got 38 guys over on the MGTOW TV site. Don't worry, guys, I'm not forgetting about you. Got a few over there from first one here from Crazy Uncle here says, I finally figured out why commie hairy ass has a dishonorable tampon sucker as a running mate. So that way when she loses, they can blame it on the straight white guy.
Oh, yeah, that's probably not too far from the truth.
Listen, man, there's only one way a master sergeant gets promoted to command sergeant major. He's accustomed to getting his tonsils blown out.
He has the
That's awful.
the golden knee pads and the calloused tonsils.
Correct.
Huh?
I mean, he's just a yes man, and yes men are worthless.
Wow.
There you go. And I got a couple in a row here from MGTOW Ronan here. Says, evening, gents. If law enforcement won't enforce the law and arrest or prosecute those violent illegal migrants, and the citizenry rise up and deal with the migrants, if the police try to arrest the American citizens, what happens when citizens view the police as enemy combatants? I'm really getting blackpilled over this. I don't see any way out of this without bloodshed.
Well, historically speaking, it's not good.
Look at I can give you two comparisons. The lockdowns of the COOF and what the police were just following orders. Just to throw an example out there, Tim Waltz had has his police force shooting paintballs at people sitting on the porches of their home.
Yeah, that's
during the lockdowns and during the 2020 riots. Yeah, it was perfectly okay for those people to go out and burn shit and destroy $2 to $5 billion worth of property, but you can't go outside. But unless you're protesting for social justice, kiss my ass.
Yep.
Dude, if you open fire on my house, this one I will say, if you open fire on my house, I'm returning fire.
And they're using paintballs. So.
It doesn't matter. It's a gun pointed in my direction.
I got you.
Yep.
I'm not going to wait and go, is that a paintball? Can I have a look?
It's the exact same argument as the 13-year-old black kid pointing a BB gun at a cop.
Not really. Not when it's armed police visibly marching down the street who level a weapon at you.
Yeah,
I know the difference between a little kid and a phalanx of armed police.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I don't know.
But then again, people got all butthurt about the 13-year-old kid, pointing a BB gun at cops when the cops shot them, when the gun was completely painted black. And well, I'm sorry, if you don't know if it's a toy or a toy or not, you point something at me, I'm going to point something back at you, and hopefully I'm faster on the trigger.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Let's just keep this rhetoric to low tones.
Let's see. And MGTOW Ronan's last one here says, "Hey, Pop, not to change the subject, but since we all know how you feel, how do you feel about women soldiers and women officers? What are your thoughts on Tulsi Gabbard? Is she the real thing or just another glorified barracks bunny? If I would have to vote for a woman for president, she would be the best choice because of her military service. Other than being somewhat anti-2A, she seems legit."
I'm going to be honest. I served alongside a lot of female soldiers. I've had female commanders. I had one really, really good female commander. I had another one that was decent and another one that was good. Other than that, all of the other female soldiers or officers I served alongside with were absolutely worthless. There was a lot of them.
Yeah.
The female soldiers I had to deal with in KPOC were fat, pregnant, out of shape, and I couldn't do anything about it. I'd fill out their paperwork for failure to adapt or failure to pass PT or height and weight, and they would do nothing with it. The male soldiers that I had to do the same paperwork on were gone in usually 90 days or less. So that speaks volumes. We have ash and trash in our military that needs to be swept out and gotten rid of. And most of them, I'm sorry to say this, are female soldiers.
Yep. I knew one good female NCO, and I had one good female commander when I was at Civil Affairs. The colonel that I worked for was a female. And that's it in all the time that I was in. As for Tulsi, no. Absolutely not. No. she will do exactly what women like that do if you install her as the president.
Correct.
Yep.
She will find somebody to cave to and all of a sudden start pushing somebody else's agenda so that she can feel good about what she's doing. Absolutely not. No.
Yep.
Hunter,
Let's not forget she endorsed Biden in 2020, and she's been flip flopping too much.
There
Sorry.
you go. She latches on to whatever she thinks is going to serve her purposes. No,
Yep.
absolutely not.
Yep. All right, we'll jump over here to Odyssey where we got 34 watching here. We got a few chats over here. The first three from Big Mike's Raging Rectum Wrecking Purple-Headed Prostate Puncher.
That's so awful.
Where do you guys come up with these screen names, man? What are you drinking? Because I may or may not want a shot or two. It says, Battle Hobbit, would you go into detail about what happened to the propagandists after World War II at the Nuremberg trials?
Wow, that's an entire huge, massive discussion. First of all, which propagandists are you talking about? Because if anybody thinks there was only propagandists on one side, boy, do we need to sit down and have a little talk.
But
You know what? We can do the gaslighting thing.
Mhm.
We'll do propagandists alongside of it because they belong together.
You're correct.
We can title the episode Word Salad with a Side of Gaslighting.
We'll do that.
There you go. And Big Mike come back in and says, even that brotherfucker foreigner Ilhan Umar knows that some people did some things.
Some people did some things.
They did.
Yeah.
What are you going to do about it?
Yep. And we got Major General Giantus Cuntus.
These guys are competing for names. There's some sort of
They've been doing
betting
that for
pool.
years, man.
I
There's some sort
don't
of betting pool out there.
I don't remember hearing about that great Greek general. It says, so the homelands of these sand bussy havers abandoned or something. They must be, if so many are invading other countries. Two-way rifle range happens. Lots will just shoot anyone that isn't their skin color, or dressed in non-American. One word, chaos. Anyways, hi, you butthole buffers.
Your butthole buffers.
Well, I mean, that's if you shake the jar, they want chaos.
Yeah.
That's what happens.
Yep. And he continues on, says, funny thing is, the more you try to ruin my morale, the less I perceive to have to lose. What happens when men have nothing less to lose? Nothing left to lose. Sorry.
Been drinking too much, Jimmy?
No, I've only had 3 beers.
Okay.
It's his first day with new lips. Cut him some
all
slack.
It's usually not a good thing.
No. He also says, Doom music kicks in. Yeah. When the Doom music kicks in, you definitely want to pucker up your butthole and hang on because shit's about to get real. All right, let's see here. Nothing else over on the YouTube side here, but over on the Twattersphere, we got 72 viewers over there.
Oh,
wow. All right.
Dang.
they're moving up. I'm currently in Twatter jail, so
Oh, did you hurt someone's feet?
I hurted feelings.
Hurted fifis.
I hurted fifis.
Let's see. D-Lab's got 6 and Twitch is rocking 11. So normal numbers over there.
Uh-huh.
Rumble has new super chats, starting with Sarku.
I'll read it
Right
up.
here, let me get over here. And Sarku says, Army Ranger Neighborhood Watch.
That was done once in Seattle, Tacoma.
Mhm.
And
My shotgun was there. I personally was not there.
it was effective from what I understand.
Yes, it was.
Yes. And Sarku says again, it says Dune Fish Speakers Honored Mantra.
I am not entirely sure what
I have no idea what that is.
He also says mushroom tea.
Yeah.
I think Sarku's been drinking a little more than I have.
or doing something involving mushrooms.
Could be.
Hey, babe, you do you, man. But, all right, let's see. And Sarku says, new Jurassic Park ride, Penisaurus, very popular with the bachelorette parties.
Wow.
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
That's
I don't know. We might have to get our residential
Gotta write that down.
dinosaur specialist Red Pill Rhino on that one, see if the Penosaurus was right or was actually real. But if you want some humor, go ahead and Google the dinosaur with 500 teeth.
It's dinosaur with 500 teeth.
Dinosaur with 500 teeth.
There is also the other flying dinosaur that most people don't know about, the Vagidactyl.
I've not heard that one yet.
I gotta write that down. That's great.
That's funny. Let's see. No other chats over on the MGTOW or Odyssey side there. All right, and we'll jump over here to the Cash Apps here. Make sure that I find them here real quick. There we go. Got John. He sent in $10. Says Sweden has guns and they can hunt with suppressors.
Okay.
Lucky them. They don't have to pay $200 to express their freedoms. See, HKC says $5. Says keep it up.
Well, we're trying. We're trying.
That's what she said. Let's see, and Lynn with $10 says for voter solutions, just show penis to vote.
Damn. Alrighty then. That escalated quickly.
That's also what she said.
That could be problematic though, because then the Frank and trannies are voting.
Yeah,
that could be a problem.
Yeah. And we got Matthew Gordon, 89 here with $25. Says, for your show is growing in my Germanic heathen group.
Oh, outstanding. Cool. Outstanding.
There you go. All righty.
I know that they were watching my show on a submarine.
An
entire watch.
Yeah, that's fantastic. Though.
It resurfaced, download a bunch of shit, and then...
Nice.
And then I got some reports from back in the day that we had Secret Service up at the White House watching some of the zombie apocalypse videos I did.
That's fantastic.
Nice. All right, let me do one last quick pass through here. Nothing new on the YouTube side. How's Rumbly going? Looks like that's all good over there. MGTOW is doing MGTOW things. Holy mackerel, that's an ass. Sorry, I got distracted there. I clicked on the wrong tab there.
I understand.
All righty, and looks like Odyssey is all good. And all right, it looks like we are all caught up there. So, Pop, I believe we're ready for safety briefing.
All right, everybody. Don't drink and drive. Don't drink and swim. It's not going to work out. If you must fornicate, wear a condom. Take it with you. Flush it down the toilet because child support is 18 to 21 years, and it sucks. Live through it. Know what it is. Rack up, pack up, stack up the safety in numbers. If somebody is going to attack you, something in your environment will have changed. So maintain your situational awareness because it pays dividends. Now, if you have to engage in violence, I suggest you run first. If you can't, do everything in your power not to go to the ground because that is where you get stomped out. And finally, I'm tired of bearing you sons of bitches over making rash decisions over temporary problems. I know some of the stuff gets overwhelming. You get knocked off your purpose. They destroy your hope. Got it. If you run out of everything else, live out of fucking spite. Fuck them. Don't let them win. Stay in the goddamn game. Stay in the fight because you have no idea what tomorrow will bring. All right. There you go.
Battledorf, your final words.
I know I mentioned that they're attacking our morale, and I know it's hitting a lot of people. I see it every day. Use this as a weapon against them. You know now that they're attacking your morale. So don't let it affect your morale because you know it's gaslighting, you know it's a game. Things are going to get spicy here in the next couple of weeks. President Trump is going to be on trial. I think they're going to try to actually put him in Rikers. I believe that that's what they're going to do. And we're going to see a bunch of other stuff. Keep a level head. Make sure you got everything squared away. Make sure you've got some sort of an exit plan if you live anywhere near one of the cities, please. Hang on, kiddies. Shit's about to get interesting.
Yep.
There you go. All righty. And my final words for the night. So, well, we all know the tribalism is going to be going on here pretty soon. Make sure you stop off on the Redonkulas website there. Pick up some merch. Get you a mug, get you a shirt. Because if we see you with a evil hairless monkey shirt or hat, we're gonna know you're a good dude. You're gonna have our 6. Get yourself some Battle Dwarf stuff as well.
There you go.
Have you seen
All
the
the good,
I have seen 1 or 2 of them. That was pretty funny.
all of the good stuff.
It's good.
There you go. Like I said, tribalism is a thing. Be sure to collect some Redonkulus swag so that we know to know that you guys are good folks and don't shoot you in the face.
Yep.
Allegedly.
Take it easy.
All right. See you guys.
I can't do it!